Hey guys, it's Mook again. As most of you probably have been following along, I've been trying my hand at blacksmithing, using as a forge this weed burning torch, some fire bricks, and a piece of railroad track for an anvil. I did a video or two on making these tongs, which was a lot of fun. I've already made another pair of tongs. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have any video of what I've most recently made, which honestly just tickles the life out of me. This is my first hand-forged knife. I used a leftover piece of 01 tool steel, similar to this. The piece I used was a little wider, but essentially what I did was I heated it up in the forge, hammered it out a little bit in length to make a taper that you can probably see there, a distal taper. I started out with it bent this way when it was the same thickness and there was no cutting edge on it. It was bent down like that. Then as I hammered this edge thinner and thinner, it made the blade curve up like this. I hammered it out to a relatively thin edge. I drew out a tang on it. Before I heat treated the blade, I got this blank of tiger maple, drilled a hole down the center of it, and then used that hole as a guide. I heated up the tang to red hot and pressed it in to burn its, kind of burn its seat into the handle. After I did that, I heat treated the blade and then stuck the handle on it with just a little bit of epoxy. Used my belt sander to shape the handle, and I've got several coats of tung oil on it, and I made this little sheath to go with it as well. But basically, to make this knife, I just had a leftover piece of 01 steel from a knife I made by stock removal, and I used a minimum of equipment. This anvil, this piece of railroad track, my hammer, tongs, and my crappy little forge. It was really not a crappy little forge, but this is all it took, plus a little chutzpah, I guess. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It feels good. It's strong. I've heat treated it. It is hardened. It's very sharp. And as my first knife, like I say, guys, I'm just really tickled to death about this. What I've got going on now, what I've been doing for the last couple of days, is I took an old file. You can see this is an old file. I annealed it by putting it in a charcoal fire, getting it really hot, and then just letting it burn out overnight. But anyway, I've been taking this, I've been trying to bash down part of it into a tang. I still need to do a whole lot of work on this, but I'm going to draw the tang out, then work on shaping the blade of this. I don't know what kind of handle I'm going to put on it, but this is, files are apparently made out of really good tool steel, particularly older ones, and I'm going to see how this one turns out. But I'm having a blast with this, guys, and if any of you are interested in doing something similar, I'd encourage it. It hasn't cost me a whole bunch of money, and I'm just getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. It really feels good to try something, make some mistakes, but also have some successes. Anyway, be good, y'all.